from the Newsmax studio in New York City, here is Steve Malzberg.
I think that there have been a number of situations in which you've seen this administration intervene in a meaningful way that has substantially furthered American interests and substantially improved the tranquility of the global community.
Some political news. Yesterday, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest said that President Obama has brought tranquility to the global community. And that's good, Josh. You should always open with a joke.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Well, look, again, folks, the grass is blue, the sky is green, and if you don't believe it, something's wrong with you. That's what Josh Earnest was saying. Yeah, of course, look at the world blowing up around us. And Obama has brought tranquility to the world. All right, now, fundraisers. He's going on more fundraisers out west. He never stops. It doesn't matter to him. He doesn't care what people say. Mika Brzezinski even laughed. Are you ready? Watch.
According to the New York Times, President Obama has no plans to cancel a 3-day fundraising trip this week. Despite the crisis in Ukraine and the Middle East, the White House says abrupt changes in the presidential schedule could, quote, unduly alarm the American people.
Well, he doesn't want to look like his schedule is hijacked by events. And the idea of suddenly whipsawing your schedule and rushing back to Washington, especially in a crisis where you have limited amounts of options anyway, they feel the White House looks reactive, looks somehow less than decisive.
So let me get this straight. The White House won't cancel the fundraisers because they don't want to alarm the American public. Because if you change the president's schedule by eliminating the fundraisers, the public will perceive something is wrong and they'll become alarmed. Even Mika Brzezinski didn't bite on that one. She laughed. She mocked it. My goodness. Can you imagine the chutzpah to come out with that explanation? It doesn't end. It really doesn't end. And on this note, we'll end this segment by telling you, Tony Dungy, who was on this program, the first black head coach to win the Super Bowl, said that if he were drafting at the time, he would not have drafted the first out openly gay college football player, Michael Sam. He said, I wouldn't have taken him, not because I don't believe Michael Sam should have the chance to play, but I wouldn't want to deal with all of it. It's not going to be totally smooth. Things will happen. All right, folks, so we'll be back with more of the show. But first, America's Moment takes a look back at President George H.W. Bush and the Persian Gulf War. Don't go away.
Since the beginning annals of history, the Middle East has always been a center for conflicts, intrigue, and war. So it was again on August 2nd, 1990, when Iraq's then-President Saddam Hussein ordered his armies to invade Kuwait. His objective? The oil-rich fields of Rumalia. It took 5 months of failed negotiations before the United States and its European and Arab allies abandoned their diplomatic efforts and initiated military actions against the invading Iraqi forces. On the evening of January 16, 1991, President George Herbert Walker Bush addressed the nation.
Just 2 hours ago, Allied air forces began an attack on military targets in Iraq and Kuwait. These attacks continue as I speak.
The largest Allied coalition since World War II was amassed under the command of General Norman Schwarzkopf. Known as Stormin' Norman, he led over 500,000 troops with military forces primarily from the United States, Britain, and Saudi Arabia, along with logistical and financial support from an additional 31 nations. President Bush was quick to make known the Allies' clear and limited objectives. Known to history as either the Persian Gulf War or First Gulf War, it marked the beginning of frontline reporting by embedded news reporters from around the world, providing their viewers with live pictures of ongoing battlefield actions. Anticipating the Arab nations opposing him would refuse to fight alongside their archenemy, the Israelis, Hussein launched Scud missile attacks against Israel, hoping to draw them into the conflict. But the U.S. quickly deployed to Israel the new Patriot missile interceptors, which for the first time were used successfully on the battlefield. In the end, Israel stood back. Within 100 hours of the ground forces launching their assault, the war was over. But not before Saddam Hussein had ordered the destruction of the very oil fields he sought. 1 week following the cessation of fighting, President George Herbert Walker Bush addresses Congress and the nation.
As president, I can report to the nation